My name is Nassime Saps.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
Everything around us is turning really fake. Where's all the real humans? You know, I used to sit here and laugh about the fake models, actors they were using in daytime television and these lawyer commercials and money commercials and stuff, all these fake actors, synthetics. They're all over the place. Fox News, the whole network has been throwing out humans for replacing them with synthetics for a while now. These plastic synthetics. Because they can be possessed and controlled by demons and aliens. They can be used as hosts for other entity beings to take over them. And so you sit and watch TV and you're watching somebody's face melt. They start shifting and morphing. Yeah, that's because it's a fake human possessed by an entity. And it's bad. All the actors in Hollywood, most of them have been replaced. People are talking about the Jim Carrey meltdowns. That's because that's not the real one. It's not the real one. They're trying to tell you. They sold out to Satan, and now they all regret it. But you know what? Most of them are dead. But the clones that they keep cloning off the original ones have those same feelings from the original host that they're being cloned of. I've explained that. A lot of them have been replaced. I think 500 of them were killed in 2012. Anyway, folks, time's already up. Yeah, bless.
So much to live for. It's me, you numpty. Basil! Seeing your faces again would spell trouble. Wait, I know it's really you, because I'm the only one who's going to tell you the truth about Haven. Now, do you recall the events of the evening of June the 22nd, 1990? No. Right, no man, who does? That was the night they arrived. Remember the shooting star? That was them. Nothing happened at first. They were getting ready, burrowing in underground, preparing. Not long after you lot left, people started to change. Just one or two at first, then more. They replaced people of influence, taking over the institutions, remaking, remodeling, refurbishing, doing everything they could to make us join them. It's not like the replacements were evil. Far from it. People got a lot friendlier. That's how they do it. It's not an invasion. It's a merger. They don't want to get rid of us, not if they can help it. They just want to make us more like them. Change the way we think. Bring us into line with all the others. Become another link in their chain. Which is fine. Unless you say no. That's when you get replaced. Once they get your DNA, they've got you. How do they do that? Any way they like. Blood tests, vitness, sweat, kissing, saliva on the rim of a glass. Why do you think I agree with this crazy straw? Not so crazy now, is it? If you're not on their side, they'll create a version of this.
Desolate in the astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
Amazing. I haven't heard it, but it makes perfect sense.
Would you like to talk about some of your encounters with the supernatural in the positive flavor?
Well, there is a lot of positive that I could say. You know, and in all my interviews and the things I write about, I always try to focus on the most sensational things that I have ever experienced. And the absolutely most sensational thing that I have ever experienced is finding out who Jesus Christ really is. It's like jumping camp from one place, deep in the belly of the beast of Satan's kingdom. Growing up in the organization, I call it the organization, because it is just mind-boggling how organized it is. However, God's kingdom is much more organized than Satan's kingdom ever will be. That's just the way it is. Anybody that might get frustrated, thinking about how it is, if they ever get a hold of the reality of just how organized Satan's organization is in both the supernatural and in the physical, they need to remind themselves that God even has that covered. I suspect that there may be reptilian in my own bloodline. I was just told that we were not all human, that is, human in bloodline, and that is what a lot of people in the organization are also told, and we are told that it is necessary to have this mixed bloodline in order to do work in the supernatural. It is a different race of bloodline species which has reptilian genetics allowing us to do work for Satan in the supernatural. In my case, I remember being programmed to do certain things. My life ended up going into a lot of different directions and involved with a lot of different aspects of the satanic organization. But the cool thing is that God allowed me to get far enough into the organization where I was taken to the top. You know, Greg, you mentioned about meeting Jesus and knowing Jesus is for real. Well, for me, I had to be shown, and actually it took me seeing Lucifer himself, seeing Lucifer and his top group in the organization, and them showing me as well as wanting me to know that Jesus Christ really is the Son of God, and that Jesus Christ really is the Savior. They wanted and needed me to know the real truth in order to make a free will choice for Lucifer and his kingdom. That's what illumination is, to be illumined as to what the real truth is, that Jesus Christ is God, is the Son of God, is the Savior, and then they wanted me to turn around and choose Lucifer. That is what they call illumination. They wanted me to choose and serve Satan as Lucifer. He wants to be both Satan and Lucifer.
Yeah, and as soon as you figure out it's real, that's when you get healed. And make no mistake about it, man, I worked for the reptilians and the Illuminati. I was an enforcer for them. I worked and I went by their rules. And some of the people that I worked for, and I'm sure that Paul works for, we know that they're reptilians. We worked for the devil. And my higher ups, the decisions that were made came from reptilians. They didn't come from human beings. And so I was in a position that I had to enforce the rules of the devil. I had to enforce his rules down there. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. And as a matter of fact, there was a 4-star general that worked under there that I knew was a high priest in the Illuminati. And so all of them bases underground are Illuminati controlled, every single one of them. And they believe that the reptilians are their masters. Even though I had to kill some reptilians, some of them, listen to this. One time they made me go to New York and wait on some containers. And so we went down there, and at first I didn't realize what I was doing. And so they blocked off this street, and it doesn't matter which street it was, but they blocked up the street. And, of course, everybody had binoculars because we were all in camouflage uniforms, and all these officers, including myself, were there. And they helicoptered these containers in, and they put them in the end of the underground subways and sewage systems. And they lifted the lids up, and we were to go down there and make sure that the explosive bolts on the container exploded and let was in there, whatever they were doing out. And I was given what they call a minigun, and it's a machine gun that shoots 6,000 rounds a minute, and we had 4 of them down there. Now we're starting to get worried because they didn't tell us. And when them bolts explode, them containers open, I never got so scared in my life. The reptilians that looked like raptor dinosaurs came coming out by the thousands out of those containers. And we were shooting them as hard as we could to get out of there. And once we got out, they welded the lid shut. And they can't, these were reptilians that they called rogue. They didn't play by the rules. And in their chain of command, they were cast out. And so they're down in those sewer systems today, and I hear all the time about...
To say technology beyond our comprehension does not exist in this world is to deny the evidence. This footage that you're looking at here is widely accepted to be authentic. Recently, we put out a video pointing out the existence of clones and androids, and yet some people say this cannot be, which of course is not surprising given the average intellect of the sheeple these days.
At this stage, it would be safer to presume that the entire system is under the control of dark forces. Is this not the best show on television? Let us tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not connected to this dark matrix. And anybody that's not connected to the dark matrix is pretty much off the air, out of business. They don't want people talking about what's going on. The Hillary clones, the Westworld, and the like. The strange phenomenon showing up. We're going to get into that. What does it all mean? But at this stage, it's safer to presume that these people are out to get you than to assume they're here to make the world a better place. And I think that the most difficult thing to convince people of in this day and age is that these people on the television, they're not your friends. They're part of the control system. They're another control in the system. And you see how people are just fighting each other out there. It's rather weird considering what we're up against. Imagine an army from another world has come in, body snatched countless people, replace people with clones. The ones you see on television, these politicians, undoubtedly, they're clones, glitching and twitching everywhere. We've got the footage, I think. But who's to tell how many people have been taken over by this dark matrix? The numbers that we get are staggering. That might make you smile out there, but you shouldn't smile when you think about what's going on the television. And it's not just the lies in the open. It's not just the Gladio B events and the like. But it's what they're doing to this country while everyone is distracted. And that's the worst part of all. People aren't even seeing it coming. It's like when the natives were invaded by the Europeans. They've never seen ships like that before. They had no idea what was on the horizon. And we're on the event horizon right now.